give us holy grace. Risen on the third day, took his children from the hell's gate. Make a vessel out of me so I could send him your way. Wanna lead a brother.
What's good, you guys? It's your boy Gabriel Vasquez, your host for Boricua Sports, and today it has happened. We are here. It's our final NFL pod of the year. Took me a while to get here. Been very busy, very occupied, but we're here. Baseball season is also underway, and we're going to get underway in this podcast. It's a Super Bowl review and possibly a little Bears preview of the next season, but welcome, guys. Thank you all for tuning in. Hit that subscribe button. Drop a like. Drop a comment. Hot take. Whatever you like to do. But, guys, go ahead and take advantage. But we're going to dive right in here, y'all. And we're going to talk about Kansas City. What happened? I mean, we're going to go straight into it. Kansas City just could not figure it out. I mean, in general, they just struggled the whole day. Got sacked a bunch of times. Their three-peat got failed. Mahomes just wasn't there. Drop passes from Kelsey and Hopkins and even Worthy, although he did have 2 touchdowns. Just a miscommunication throughout the day for the Chiefs. And it led to the devastating loss. I mean, they lost by 18 points. I mean, it wasn't close. I mean, the game was not close at all. It was a blowout. It was 34-0 at one point in the third quarter. Some, garbage time touchdowns by the Chiefs. So, I mean, it's just, they just couldn't figure it out. Now, obviously, one of the key factors, like I mentioned earlier, is the 6 sacks with no blitz percentage. The Eagles didn't blitz not once. Their pass rush is amazing with Josh Sweat and Carter and their interior line. It was incredible how they're performing. And then the back end does its rest on the secondary, and the linebackers do their own thing. So it was very impressive to see how that defense was able to show up there. Sorry, my head itches. New braids, y'all can tell. But, it was interesting. And I feel like a lot of Chiefs fans and players got humbled. And it was just nice to see, as an NFL fan, to see someone like the Chiefs pursuing that three-peat. Mahomes even trying to go for the GOAT conversation, which that's out the door. We'll get to that later. So I just feel like with everything that went on, it just shocked the world. But couldn't be happier for Jalen Hurts. Couldn't be happier for Philly. They have their second Super Bowl after droughts of not having one. So good to see them get their ring again. And Jalen Hurts possibly being a top 5 quarterback, which brings us to our second conversation. Is Jalen Hurts a top 5 quarterback after that performance? Now, I will say that he shut a lot of people up in that game. And low-key, I'm a fan of Jalen Hurts. I am. I like him. I think he's a good quarterback. He has the tangibles. He has the arm. He has the scramble. He has the maneuver. He does well reading the field, and obviously he did that day. So he even surprised me. Now, we shouldn't be too surprised, as he basically outplayed Mahomes in the last Super Bowl, in Super Bowl 57, back in Arizona, where they lost by 3 with 38-35. He outplayed them twice. Just saying. I mean, I have here, he only threw for 221 yards, only 2 tutties, his tush push, and then his long bomb to Devontae Smith. Nothing crazy. I mean, his defense was the story of the day, helped him out. Couple of picks, a pick 6, a forced fumble, all the cards on the table for the Birds. It's baseball season. I'm already thinking of baseball in the Super Bowl. So, we're just saying that. I know Jalen Hurts had a good game. It wasn't outstanding. It wasn't great. It was a good game. He played good football. So he was 17 for 22 as well, which is a good completion percentage. So, in my opinion, Jalen Hurts, after that game, has to be a top 5 quarterback. Put him at 5, sure. Put him at 5 because obviously Mahomes still won. I would say Burrow, in my opinion, is 2. I would say Allen is 3. And if you want to mix up the 4 between Lamar and, I don't know, name y'all's favorite quarterback that you'll think is top 5. I don't know. Lamar's up there. You'll probably throw in Shoot, I mean, I probably would put Lamar. I was like, hey, I wouldn't. I mean, no one out. I would say I'm not gonna say this person. He's definitely not worthy of top 5. But regardless, I would put Jalen Hurts in that conversation right now because he's playing elite. He had a good postseason. I know he has Barkley in the backfield. Don't get your hot takes rolling. I mean, I get it. He had a good defense, had a good running game. It's set up for his style of play, and it just showed. And when the Eagles are dead last in passing attempts because they have such effective running quarterbacks and running backs, it shows. And that's exactly what I feel like their game was during the Super Bowl, and the defense helped them out. So, obviously, we just mentioned the worst game of Mahomes' career. I mean, I wouldn't say it significantly plummeted him down in quarterback ratings, but, it woke up some people. I mean, to get sacked, like I said, to get sacked with no blitz pressure at all, no pressure whatsoever, is alarming. And yes, Mahomes still was scrambling and making plays and doing what he does best. I get that. But that's just not heard of. And I know there was a meme or something that said that if Mahomes played for the Bears, coincidentally, go Bears, obviously, that's what he would look like. And I agree. Mahomes would not be the player he is today without at least a decent O-line. I mean, yes, the Chiefs' O-line is pulled up until that point. I don't think they had some banged-up guys coming into that game. But you can't expect, and this is not to totally defend on Mahomes. I mean, he had a bad game. I get that. But when you have a bad O-line, or your O-line is not producing and not keying your blocks and not holding protection, I don't care who's back there. They can't get the ball off. There's going to be pressure. He's going to scramble. He's going to get anxious to throw the ball away. You never want to take big sacks. That's exactly what Mahomes was avoiding, and it led him to picks and pick sixes and fumbles and scramble drills and drop passes because he's constantly trying to get out of the pocket and make a play. And in certain scenarios, especially when the O-line is weak, you can't rely on those voodoo plays like Mahomes and Lamar do because it's going to cost your team, as we've seen on both sides. So, obviously the Chiefs are still going to make runs, but there's going to be some doubts. Kelsey didn't look too great. Worthy looks good. I'm sure he'll be their number 1 or number 2 coming forward. D-Hop, he's a free agent, so we'll see what he goes this year. Doubt he stays, but with the receivers that Kansas City needs, I could see them probably sticking with him, but we'll see where D-Hop goes. I'm sure he wants to keep winning, and Kansas City is a place to do that, but all it is that they're humbled. Kansas City is humbled that it wasn't just a loss. It was a blowout. It was bad. Like, you got to understand that. Like, that humbles a football team. It might thrive it more for them to get there, but honestly, it's going to have them look forward and be like, we need to fix some stuff. Because the Chiefs were in a lot of close games this year that didn't need to be there. And it showed in the Super Bowl, the biggest game of the year. So, that is my take on just basically how the Chiefs produced in that game, just in general, not just O-line issues, quarterback in general, and then moving forward into what the future is just from here on out with Mahomes and his status as the GOAT. And that leads me to my final point. A little quick pod here, guys. Just something to get it out there, tradition. Although, by the way, my podcast has made 3 years, so thank y'all for sticking with me. If you're subscribed, again, drop a like, drop a comment, hit that sub button, notification bell. I will definitely try more consistent as I continue my tenure here at the Dan Patrick School of Sportscasting in Central Florida. But one thing that is completely out of the question now is Brady is still the GOAT. Now, I know there's some people who are saying, well, his career's not over. Mahomes probably has like 10, 15 years left. And, I mean, you saw Brady, he played for 22 or whatever. I'm like, I get that. I'm not bashing Mahomes per se. I mean, Brady never got that far off in a Super Bowl. He never let the score get that bad. And again, I know Brady paid probably a better defense in his career. I get that. But that defense wasn't looking that good against the Falcons in Super Bowl 51, I'll tell you that. And what did Brady do? He came back down 25 points late in the third and came back. That is what makes GOATs. And when I watched that game, I thought to myself, Brady has his 5th ring, and he just did something himself that no one has done in Super Bowl history. The greatest comeback. And he led it in overtime, which at that point had never been done before. That is what separates me from Mahomes. Now, if he would have three-peated and blown out the Eagles while he three-peated as well, Mahomes has a strong case, because at that point he would have had 4 with only 3 left to go to tie and 4 to pass Brady. And Mahomes now did something, if he would have done it, that no quarterback done before, which three-peat, which would put him in a deep conversation for the GOAT. But Brady just proves that time and time again, whether he's playing or watching Brady, he still beats him. And in that case, even though Brady's not playing in the big game, he's still winning it. So that's all I got today, guys. Quick little pod. Keep the tradition going with Super Bowls. Every time, it happens, I make a video about it. It started my channel back in 2023, Super Bowl 57. Again, coincidentally, Chiefs-Eagles. So thank you all for watching. I will see you in the next video, which will probably be a baseball pod. Cubs are coming up. Big season coming up for Chicago. And we'll see y'all next time. And I'm out.
Give us holy grace, risen on the 3rd day. Took his children from the hell's gate. Make a vessel out of me so I could send him your way. Wanna lead a brother.